wait until somebody starts watching. No, we'll keep going. My channel. Let's see if it'll let me click on. I still need to work out how to do the comments and stuff on here because I've clicking on my channel home. Live now, there we go. So if I click on that. Hey, we have some viewers. Yay, we have 2 people. Hey guys. So it's Pierre from Norway. I got that right this time. And Joel, how are you guys? We see you. Woohoo! We were having some technical difficulty. Well, I was. My webcam's dying at the moment. So all right. So it's just Erik and I doing this one. Pia, if you can, man, if you wouldn't mind taking some notes, because I'm assuming our lists will be different. So that will be good. All right. So, Erik, how long did you spend making this list?
I went through, probably took about an hour to narrow it down. But then I made some notes on paper, which took another like hour.
Yeah. I thought about this the other day, and then my list has changed about 5 times. So I think we just need to preface this with, it's really hard to make a list of 20 films, you know, from 2010 to 2017. It's really difficult because there were some great years here. So we're going to start with some honorable mentions. My first honorable mention is The Attorney, the Song Kang-ho film. Have you seen The Attorney?
Yes, I have. Good
What are
film.
your thoughts?
Good.
What are your thoughts? Is that in your top 20?
No, it is not.
Okay. What are your thoughts on it?
I think it was just a good, solid film overall. Obviously, with him as the lead actor, it's always on nice foundations. I found it to be generally just a good flick. Maybe a few slight pacing problems here or there, but overall, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too. I didn't know it was kind of semi-based on a true story before I watched it, and I really liked his performance in that film.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Kwak Do-won as well, the guy from The Wailing. He plays a minor role in The Attorney, but he really shines in that film. So I think The Attorney's worth an honorable mention. What's your first honorable mention?
I would say one that I really enjoyed that I don't have on here would be The Advocate, A Missing Body, which was released either 2016 or 2015. And that was a pretty interesting, it kind of have the generic premise of like an attorney who gets in over his head, but it was pretty nicely written and very well acted. I think the lead actor in that one, let me look up his name here, was Sun Kyung Lee.
Okay.
He was in A Hard Day.
Oh, that guy. He's the guy from The King's Case Note that I watched the other day.
Oh no. He's usually pretty
it.
reliable.
He's usually very good. That movie just, don't get me started. It'll just make me angry again. I'm drinking Korean beer, by the way. It's 2:00 in the afternoon here, so I can get away with it.
Nice.
And it's
I do recommend The Advocate though if you haven't seen it. It's nicely written, I think, and well acted.
Did you review that one?
Yes, I think I do actually have it on my channel.
Okay, I might check out your review. And
I blind bought the DVD, so that's how I saw it.
Oh, nice. Where did you get was it a US release or from overseas?
No, it was a Yes Asia purchase.
Gotta love Yes Asia. Yes, Cass. It was this or Height, but Height is like $3 more expensive for a 6-pack. So I'm lucky in Melbourne where I live. Erik, I want you to come visit me one day when you've got enough money to come to Australia.
I'll do it.
Yeah, you can stay with me, man. Like, it'll be lots of fun. Like, there's so many cool things to do here, and where I live, like right in the CBD, it's great because the cinema that I go to, Melbourne Central's like 5 minutes walk from my apartment, and that's where they play all the Asian films. And then you've got Chinatown Cinema, which obviously just plays the Chinese stuff. And there's like Asian grocers just everywhere. So it's great. In Brisbane, when I was living in Brisbane, if I wanted one of these, I'd have to go to the Korean restaurant, and they're about $5 or $6 each. But here I can buy a 6-pack for $15. So
Wow.
yeah. My second honorable mention is Northern Limit Line from a few years ago. The reason why I put that in there is because it was based on a true story. And even when I talk to some of my Korean friends about this, they weren't aware that this happened. So the whole attack on that Navy vessel while the World Cup was going on. So I really liked that film. I do. Some of the performances were a bit ho-hum, and it did get a bit too sentimental at the end. But overall, for a film about something that, yeah, it just told a story that I had no idea about, and that's what I liked about it. Did you see Northern Lemon Line?
I have not, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can get a Blu-ray from the US. There's a US, I think it's Wellgo USA did a Blu-ray of it. So,
Okay.
yeah, I paid like $9 US. So that's pretty cheap.
Very. Yes.
Yeah. What's your second honorable mention?
I'll go with a rom-com here. I really enjoyed it. It's called How to Use Guys with Secret Tips. It's got basically about a girl who is, not too popular with the guys. She stumbles upon this little little noodle shop or something, and this guy gives her like a tape called the Man Manual, and she watches this tape, and it gives her almost like strategies to woo men and and seduce men basically. And so this woman goes through the process, and it's actually a pretty funny movie. It has some rom-com tropes to it a little bit, but it is I really like the lead actress. It's Si-Young Lee, who is in I don't know if you've seen, well, no, you don't watch K-dramas, but there was a TV show called Athena, the Goddess of War, I think. Or no, she was in, which one was she in? She's in a movie that's in my top 20, though, that I'll mention.
Right.
Oh, she was in Killer Tune, which you probably saw.
Yeah, so I reviewed that one. I liked that movie.
Yeah, so that was the lead actress in that. In this one,
Okay.
I think she's even better in like a rom-com role because she has very nice comedic timing. So
Okay.
I'll mention that one.
Yeah. Just to let you guys know, I don't have any comedies on my list.
Wow.
I know, I'm sorry. I don't watch enough comedy. And I'm really picky, even with English speaking comedy. I think comedy's the hardest thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
It's so incredibly difficult. So, yeah.
Well, Gareth Evans agrees. The director
Yeah.
of the Raid movies, he says that's his biggest fear is directing a comedy because he doesn't want to be there when nobody's laughing at his movie.
Like Adam Sandler.
He just doesn't care.
No, he doesn't give a shit anymore. My third honorable mention is Montage.
Oh, yes, that was very good.
Yeah. I reviewed that, I think it was last year, and I was blown away. I thought that was a great film, great female lead, great story, good thriller. Had the actor from Memories of Murder. I can never remember his name. The other guy that's Song Kang-ho's partner in Memories of Murder.
Right, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah. He's one of those underrated actors, and in Montage, if you haven't seen Montage, totally watch that. It's a fantastic film. All right, you're number 3 for honorable mention.
Let's see. Oh, there's let's see here. Do I have it on my list? I don't think I do. I'm going to go with a movie called Bleak Night.
Ah, that one. I've heard a lot
The one
about
that
that
you,
recently.
yeah, it's
I
pretty
think,
cool.
yeah, you recommended it to me, and then a few other people keep recommending it to me. And I need to
Yeah.
find, I think there's a UK DVD, and it's reasonably cheap. So I will pick it up eventually.
Yeah, it's a good high school drama, and it's I haven't seen it in a little while, but I think it's almost like it has a really interesting kind of lead character who's almost kind of a bully, but they portray him in a multidimensional way, and it's about the dynamics in that school. So I definitely recommend it. It's very good.
Okay. Just a quick, I'm just going to check the comments quickly. We'll get to your comments, guys, eventually. So we've got, oh, somebody's mentioned, did you hear about Oksha getting booed at Cannes?
Yeah, but they booed it before it played.
Yeah, but it's something to do with like a technical difficulty, but there's also a lot of people, pretentious people that have an issue with the whole Netflix thing, from what
Right.
I understand. Um, I the only thing that I don't like about this, pardon me, is the fact that Bong Joon-ho is releasing a new film and I can't go to the theater to see it. I have to watch it at home.
Yeah.
I would prefer to go to a theater and watch that. That's my big issue. I think with directors of that caliber, it's really sad that they have to go to Netflix to get a movie made. But somebody's mentioned, yeah, Martin Scorsese's next film, The Irishman. Is it? Yeah. Yeah, studios will finance the Emoji Movie and not The Irishman. So that's the world we live in, people. Transformers 5 this year. Woohoo. Lowering the bar even more. Okay, my next honorable mention is The Divine Move. A fantastic gangster action film that revolves around chess. It's a similar the game Go, which looks incredibly complicated. But I remember watching that film and I was just engrossed in it the entire time. I thought it was phenomenal. I wanted to include it in the top 20. That was one of the movies that I found really hard to leave out. So, have you seen The Divine Move?
Yes, I very much enjoyed it. It had like a nice blend of different genres too. Had some action in it a little bit, I like that. Definitely I gotta rewatch that one again or add it to my library.
Yeah, it's definitely one worth rewatching. All right, your next one?
Okay, I'm gonna go with The Piper from 2015.
Nice.
It was one that, I looked on Amazon in the US and I saw the DVD cover art, which was just awful.
Yep.
And it had the little rat screaming at me, and I just passed it over. But then I remembered the lead actor in it is in a bunch of good movies.
Yeah, it's I can never pronounce his name properly. It's like Ryu
Sung
Song
Ryung
Yong.
Ryu or
Yeah,
something like
whatever.
that.
He's in several movies that I have
Me
in my
too.
top 20.
So when I saw he was in it, I said, and it was a horror movie, so of course I'm going to watch it. So I'm like, I'm going to do this. So I blind bought it, and it was very good. It's based on the Pied Piper legend, and they kind of made it their own. Had some nice dramatic basis to it. So yeah, I definitely recommend that one.
Yeah, that's the version that I picked up on DVD, and because it was just cheaper to buy that version than any other version, because I think the Korean version was probably like $40 Australian, and the US version was probably 12. So, but it's the worst cover art for. Oh, it's just terrible. It just makes no sense with the story. They're clearly trying to sell it to a B-grade movie audience.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a Sci-Fi Channel style thing, and you're just like, no, this is not the movie that you are selling. All right, my last honorable mention is Bedevilled.
Ooh.
A story about the island of these women and abuse that goes on there, and this woman's revenge. And I think it's fantastic. It's bloody. It's a slow burn film. It does build up, but it needs to do it that way, I guess. Yeah, that was another one that I thought, oh, should I put that in the top 20? But I left it out. What do you think of Bedevilled?
I very much enjoyed it. It's not one I've seen recently, though. It's kind of hard to rewatch that movie, I think. But I liked how the lead actress. You basically have two lead characters in that one, and the one girl who we're introduced to very early on has like she's almost a little unlikable because she has like this aversion to helping people in times of need, and that's established early on, and it kind of plays through. So I kind of liked how the characters had their arcs throughout that film.
Cool. All right, and your last honorable mention before we get into the top 20.
Let's see here. You know what? I'm going to say Horror Stories 3.
Okay.
Part 3. I got that on DVD. It's pretty interesting. It's a horror anthology, and it has some scenes that are like science fiction in it. A very nice different blend and very good quality stuff. So, I actually enjoyed all three of the Horror Stories anthologies. Second one's probably the weakest, but the third one, it could be the strongest out of the three. So I recommend it.
Okay. So before we get into our top 20, since I started this channel, at the end of every year, I was doing like top 5, top 10 movies. Now, in the 3 years or so, or 4 years that I've been doing this, my opinions change over time. Something that I might have put at number 1 3 years ago might not necessarily be number 1 or even in the top 10 in this list. With my list last year, I put Spirit's Homecoming at number 1. And I said that in my list, well, in my video for the list, that was a strategic thing because I wanted more people to see that movie. Overall, I don't think it was the best film of last year, but I think it was the one that needed to be seen the most. So, without further ado, Erik, number 20 for you.
All right, I'm going off the board here. This one's a little abrasive. I picked it because it's a bit different, and it's very good, I think. And that is The Treacherous from 2015.
Okay.
This is the one. Basically, a prince goes insane, and he orders that the beautiful women in his land be rounded up for his pleasure. So, have you ever seen the movie Caligula?
Yes, of course.
So
Malcolm McDowell.
This has certain similarities to that. Not quite as violent or quite as graphic, but it does have some strong sexual content to it. It's got violence, immoral characters, and huge tonal shifts. But it also has really good production values and performances. It stars Ji Hoon Ju, who was in A Sewer of the City of the Madness. And the director's done some good stuff, so that's a recommendation.
Cool. I haven't seen The Treacherous yet, but it's on my Netflix list. Those of you who don't know, obviously I live in Australia, and now Netflix is pretty rubbish compared to the rest of the world. So, The Treacherous is one of like 6 Korean films on Netflix, so I'm going to get to it eventually. All right, my number 20 is the Choi Min-sik film, The Tiger. I remember watching this in the cinema, and I really enjoyed it. I thought for a South Korean film, the special effects were fantastic. Those of you who obviously are watching now know that with Asian cinema, they don't tend to spend a lot of money on CGI, and it dates really badly. But with The Tiger, I felt that they actually made an effort with the CGI. I liked the story. I liked the man versus beast thing. I liked the ending as well. I thought it was very poetic. So The Tiger is my number 20. Have you seen The Tiger?
I have. It's in my DVD collection, actually. Very good. I agree with the
Thoughts?
special effects. They're very on point. I was kind of surprised. And the supporting actor in that, I don't remember his name, but he's been in some good stuff too. He was in Asura City of Madness too. He was the second in command for the corrupt.
Yep. Yeah. He's the guy with the scar on his face in the tiger?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I always forget. Like he's one of those actors that is in almost every film. There are a few that just turn up in everything.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 19.
This one's probably a little unknown. It's called Re-Encounter from 2010. I think it's an indie film, actually. It's basically about a 25-year-old woman who's visited by her ex-boyfriend who impregnated her at the age of 18. So it kind of shifts between the past and the present, and you don't really know what happened to their child. You know, you're not really sure. So it uses that, and then very well acted, very subtle and intelligent too, the way it's filmed. So I really enjoyed that. There's no big name actors in it or a big name director, but if you have the means, I recommend Re-Encounter.
Okay, Re-Encounter. Is that available on DVD anywhere?
I haven't checked recently. I probably should add it because I haven't seen it in a while. You know how it is. Sometimes those Korean DVDs just go out of print. So hopefully it isn't. Hopefully it still is available.
Those of you who want to buy Korean DVDs, there's an eBay seller called Korean Muse. I use him. Really reasonable, but don't buy them all because I need to buy some to review. But yeah, people ask me, where do you watch these movies? Well, Korean Muse for actual Korean movies. Oh, what did I do with them? So I ordered 3 the other day. I'll just grab them. They're just close. I'll show you guys. Some of them are like, they look like X rentals, but they're only like $8. So it's what have I got here? That's not what I want. Whoa, sorry. Trying to lean with stuff. So I have Phelan.
Okay.
So that's a 2-disc thing. Sorry, I know we're going off topic, but that's like, and there's another disc under that. One that you guys have been requesting for a long time, Castaway on the Moon.
Oh, that movie's amazing.
Yeah, but if you look at the back here, there's like a barcode just there near my finger. So I think I can't read Korean, but I think they're just X rentals, but they're pretty good. And I've got this one. This one's The Showdown.
Okay.
So I've got to watch those and review those at some stage. But yeah, go on eBay, Korean Muse, if you want to pick up some reasonably priced DVDs. All right. You got to beat us to the good ones, Corey. Yeah, well, he does have, like, there's more than one. Sometimes he'll have, like, one thing for, I'm saying he, I don't even know. It could be a woman. They. I'll say they. Yeah. All right. My 19 is Cold Eyes.
Nice.
The remake of Eye in the Sky, the Chinese film, I believe. This was one of the first movies I reviewed on my channel. I watched it at the South Korean Film Festival in Brisbane in I think it was 2013 that movie came out. So,
correct.
Yeah, so that would have been probably 2014 that it got released here at the during the Korean Film Festival. That was when I first thought, hey, maybe I should review these movies for YouTube because there aren't many people doing it. But Cold Eyes is a fantastic, I guess it's like there's thriller, there's action, there's a lot of drama, suspense, some fantastic performances. Highly recommend Cold Eyes. It's a great like spy thriller, and I really enjoy the opening of that film where they're on the train and they're doing like the communications with each other. If you can remember that, it's good. Your thoughts on Cold Eyes? Is it on your list?
I don't know why it isn't, but it isn't. I probably should have included that as a special mention because it's very good. I'm a big fan of the original too, Eye in the Sky, and they're both a little bit different from one another. Like the Koreans, I think, added a little bit more of a higher octane in Cold Eyes. There's a little bit more action in there, but great performances. I'm a big fan of Hyo Joo Han, so the fact that she's in there is a big plus for me.
Yeah. Cool. All right. 18.
I don't remember what you thought of this one, but I'm going to go with The Terror Live from 2013.
Dude, I love that movie.
Oh, nice.
I have a thing for movies that are set in one location. Like, I'll even defend Phone Booth for what it is, because I think, for a screenwriter to be able to hold your attention for like 90 minutes and have a movie in real time and whatever, it takes a lot of talent. And I'll tell you my issue with The Terror Live after you give me your thoughts.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, a terrorist basically blows up a bridge and then calls a news station with demands. So he wants to be interviewed and get his message out. And our boy Jung Woo Ha is kind of on the outs. His career isn't exactly where it used to be. So he tries to use this opportunity to get ahead and get his career back. And most of the film basically takes place in the news station from our protagonist's perspective. And it moves at a nice pace. It's suspenseful, some nice surprises, and I think one of the ballsiest endings of any movie on my list. I like the ending a lot.
Cool. I really like that movie because it's Ha Jung-woo, and he's one of my favorites. And they do some things in that movie. You're like, holy shit, they went there. But I have an issue with the ending. Not that I don't think it's. I agree with you that it was ballsy, but the film seems very grounded for the first 2/3, and then like the last third, it gets a bit too over the top for me. But I thought about putting that in my list, but I left it out because I've got another Ha Jung-woo film in here that I think is better.
Understandable.
Yeah. Okay. My 18 is the war film. I really enjoyed that movie. I thought it was one of the best South Korean war films ever. For me, Brotherhood is the best. That's not in 2010 to 2017. So the Frontline just has just keeps going. Like you're just on the edge of your seat, the whole time. And again, it did something that I didn't think it would do. For those of you, I don't want to spoil the movie, but something happens that I was like to a certain actor, and I was like, okay, they went there. And it felt very gritty and realistic, and scenes in it, and I thought it was a very well-made war film. Thoughts on The Frontline?
I agree. I was initially excited about it because I think Ok Bin Kim is in that one, and she recently came off of her performance in Thirst. So, but yeah, very, very solid war film. I liked the ending I won't spoil it or anything, but I liked where they went there, and it had a nice dramatic impact to it, definitely.
Oh yeah, it's The Frontline, guys. People are asking. I didn't get it. Yeah, The Frontline. I've only had one beer. I'm not slurring my words too badly. I have more. I have a 6-pack. All right, for you, what is your number 17?
First controversial choice tonight, I think. I don't think you like this one very much, but I did.
Okay, here we go.
Thread of Lies from 2014 with Ah Sung Ko from The Host and Snowpiercer. Yep. So this is the one. After a 14-year-old girl commits suicide, her older sister decides to investigate her friends and their relationships. She suspects she may have been bullied. So I just thought it was just a good overall, very solid acting performances. I like the dialogue. Yeah, I haven't seen it in a few years, but I definitely have to add it to my DVD library. But
the thing is, movies affect people in different ways. You know, you watch a movie, and I've got movies on this list that people might think that movie was crap, or oh, this movie's better than that movie. But it's all about your personal experience, where you're at, I guess, mentally at that time. So, yeah, no, I didn't really like that movie, but if you want to put it in your list, man, it's your list, not mine.
I'm just being honest, baby.
Yeah, no, that's the way you got to be. Okay, 17 for me is a movie that I didn't struggle to put it on this list. I just didn't know where to put it. Originally, I had it a bit lower down, but then I swapped it with another film that I think has similar themes, but is a little bit stronger. So I've chosen A Girl at My Door, the film with Duna Bay, who plays this cop in this small town, and she takes in a young girl. And things, I don't want to, again, it's hard to spoil these films because they're a bit recent. So her performance in this film is phenomenal. She's a great, one of the best from South Korea. And this is like the role for her, I think. I'm not sure if she won any awards for it, but she should have, and she should have been nominated for something. It's just a very well-made drama, and it's a very small, simple film. But again, it's one of those movies, and I think you'd agree with me, Erik. The beauty of South Korean cinema is it goes places where US cinema or Australian cinema probably wouldn't.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the supporting actress was Sejong Kim, correct? In that one?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's another role that's just right up her alley. She's the if you ever need a child actor in a solid, maybe well, I won't say anything to spoil anything, but she definitely has some excellent scenes in that one.
Yeah. Sorry, I've just got something on my webcam. Sorry, guys. All right. For you, number 16.
All right, I'm gonna keep the thriller theme going here with No Mercy from 2010.
Nice.
So that's one with the forensic pathologist and a young detective investigate a dismembered corpse. But the thing that I liked is that one of our protagonists starts to work against the investigation and attempts to cover up the evidence for a specific reason. So it almost reminded me a little bit of that Denzel Washington film Out of Time, if you've ever seen that one.
I haven't seen that one. I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's a good one. And it's got some dark stuff in here. There's some outstanding scenes near the end. And, you got Kyung-gu Sol from Cold Eyes and Hope is the lead actor. And Hee Jin Han from Jumong, which is one of my favorite TV series. So, yes, I very much enjoyed No Mercy.
Yeah. Again, that was a movie I had written down, but it didn't make my list. But I totally agree with everything you've said. That's a movie people have asked me to review, and I plan on reviewing that eventually. It's on my list. I have like a mental list in my head of things I want to review, but most of the time I'll just, if I'm in the mood for a certain film, I'll watch it. It's not often that I go out of my way to review a film. Other than if it's playing in the cinema, obviously I want to see it and get the review out. But with movies that are a few years old or 10 years old or something, I'll just wait until the time is right. But totally agree with No Mercy. You guys should check that out. It's a fantastic. Oh, somebody's asked me, Corey, check the comment. Hang on. Let's have a look. Sorry, guys. I don't want to neglect you. Scrolling back through the comments. Has the whaling come up yet? No, it hasn't. Just purchased my first South Korean Blu-ray, New World. Good choice. Good choice. How about I Saw the Devil? That hasn't come up yet either. Who's to say? They might not come up at all.
We've had
It hasn't come up yet.
We've had no overlap at all. I'm surprised so far.
Yeah. Maybe when we get down to our top 10, I suspect that there will be a few, to be honest. Okay. We were up to, say, 16.
Yeah, I just did my 16.
Yeah. My 16 is The Admiral, another Choi Min-sik film. And again, Ryu Sung Bom, or whatever his name is. Again, I'm terrible at pronouncing Korean names. Fantastic movie. What can I say? It's epic. It's really epic. It's impressive. Again, another film that relies heavily on special effects from South Korea that really holds up. I remember seeing that in the cinema, and I was really disappointed because there were only 2 people in the cinema for that film. And but I think that movie has done really well on Blu-ray overseas. It got a Blu-ray release here in Australia, and for a South Korean film to get a Blu-ray release here, that's kind of a big thing, because a lot of the companies, they'll only put things out on DVD, but it has to be a big movie that's, reviewed well, to get a Blu-ray release here. And I love it. I highly recommend The Admiral. It's a great film. Erik,
I agree.
The Admiral?
Yes, very good movie. One thing I really liked was kind of like the psychology of the situation and how he led his men, and then how the whole final battle scene was set up. I thought it didn't play out quite like I expected. So yes, I obviously with our man in the lead role, it's automatically gonna be a must see usually. So yes, I recommend that as well.
Cool. All right, we're down to 15. I'm excited to hear your top 10, man. I'm really excited. All right, 15.
All right, I'm going with another historical film, and that is Kundo, Age of the Rampant from 2014.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that one.
So this is set in the 19th century. An elite swordsman is consumed with greed and decides to oppress the masses for his personal, wealth. But a group of righteous warriors and a lowly butcher attempt to stop him. So you got Jung Woo-ha again in this one, and Dongwon Gang from Haunters and Wu Chi and a bunch of other films. This was actually his comeback.
He was in the front line as well.
Yeah, and this was his comeback role, I think, after serving in the military in South Korea. So I think this is a crowd pleaser, very solid action film, nicely paced, and Kundo, Age of the Rampant.
Yeah, I liked that movie. I wouldn't put it in my top 20, but again, it's you've had to Terror Alive and that one. Wow. Okay. Are we going to get any more?
Oh, there's one that's going to knock your socks off later.
Fair enough. Number 15 for me is a movie I reviewed quite recently, I want to say, like within the last few months, and that is Children. The movie based story about a group of young boys that went missing in, I believe it was 1991, in a small town in South Korea, and what happens to the families and the reporter that's reporting on it. And it's a little bit like Zodiac, the David Fincher film. It's one of those, they don't really know who did it. It's an unsolved mystery, and it's a fascinating movie. I love true stories and ones that involve murder and that are thrillers. Even more so. What are your thoughts on Children?
That one I thought was good. I don't really remember what problems I had with it exactly. I just felt maybe it was a little bit more like a commonplace kind of premise that I've seen before. Maybe I had a little bit of a problem with the pacing, maybe too, a little bit on that one. But I did think it was a good movie. So
it could have been the ending. I have a few issues with the ending, but I understand why they went the way that they did. Again, because it was an unsolved case. And I think I was more interested in the real story than the film story, but I do think it's a well-made movie. All right. Oh, their bodies were found in the woods. Yes, they were, but I'm pretty sure they don't know who killed them. Is that right? Or yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading the comments. Okay, number 14.
All right, I'm going with The Recipe from 2010, starring Sung Ryong Ryu. It just came out this way. I don't know. So the premise of this one's really neat. Our protagonist, is like a journalist, and he hears this story about a criminal who was on the run, and he got caught by the cops because he was eating a fantastic bowl of soybean paste soup. So this journalist hears this story and he says, who made this soup and what was the recipe for it? So he goes on an investigation to find this person and figure out what this fantastic recipe was. So I really liked it. It's kind of like a drama with a little bit of comedy. It's, portraying kind of a magical, amusing style. And I love movies about food. And this one is definitely very interesting and a bit different.
Okay. I haven't seen The Recipe, but now I want to. It sounds fun. Is it fun?
Yeah, I mean, it's, like most Korean movies, it's about 2 hours long, and
Yeah.
the pacing's a little slow, but I found it very amusing. Like it gets very detailed with the ingredients that are used and where they're found. So I liked it.
Okay. So do you like cooking?
No, I love to eat great food and have other people cook it for me, though.
Right. Fair enough. My 14 is the movie I put at number 1 for last year, which some of you will be like, how does that work? But yeah. Spirit's Homecoming, a movie that made me cry. I'm man enough to say when a movie makes me cry. A movie that made me feel extremely uncomfortable in the cinema. Went to places I didn't expect it to go. Again, a movie about a true story that, from what I understand, the Japanese government still won't admit to. A bunch of girls lots of girls that were taken from their families, very young. We're talking 11, 12, 13, 14, from their families during the Korean War. And they were forced into the sex trade, and they'd have these little bunkers or little shacks, and then they'd have small rooms, smaller than this, and they'd just have a bed, and they'd be tied to the bed, and guys would come and they'd give them a ticket. Each platoon would come through, and they get to rape any girl. And it was hard to watch because there are women that are still alive that went through this. And yeah, it's one of those movies. If you're looking for a movie that's a tearjerker, that's like pulls the heartstrings, makes you just, I don't know. I think people should watch this movie. So that's why I put it at number 1 last year, but it's number 14 for me. Have you seen Spirit's Homecoming?
Yes, I have. I did enjoy it. It was very proficiently executed. Definitely does hit you dramatically pretty hard. And the performances, again, by all of the ladies in that were really good. And one movie it kind of reminded me of was a Chinese movie from 2009 called The City of Life and Death, which I would like to just give a quick recommendation for, because that movie's fantastic. It's about when the Japanese invaded Nanking, I think, during World War II, and this similar thing happened there.
Yeah, it's just it's fucking horrible.
Yeah,
absolutely atrocious. And the fact that the Japanese government just won't, they just sweep everything under the carpet. It's just shocking. All right, number 13.
All right, I'm going with Sunny from 2011.
Okay, I have no idea what that is.
This is a very fun movie. It's about five women friends who reunite decades after their high school years, which were in the 1980s. So most of the film takes place in the 80s, but it then switches again to like the present day. Very charming tone to it. There's some schoolgirl gang conflicts that are really, really entertaining. And it actually does have a very nice dramatic impact too, a kind of like surprisingly dramatic impact to it. So I know actually Young Kyung Shim is one of the lead actresses. She was in Miss Granny and Hansel and Gretel. And it's very good. It seems like a chick flick, but anybody could enjoy it because it's a very fun movie.
Okay. It's good that it's not a chick flick. I'm not the biggest fan of those, but if you say it's not a chick flick, then yep, sure. Okay. Oh my God. I'm just looking at my list and I realized I've put like 2 horrible movies about rape after each other.
Yeah.
The next one is Han Gong-ju.
Ooh, yeah.
Again, a movie that has incredible performances. A movie about a teenage girl who is bullied and her life really and what goes on. She wants to be, it's been a few years since I've watched it, but she wants to be a singer, I think, and she's quite talented at singing. And then again, it's a really small film. It's a drama. It's a hard drama. It's well acted, well made. It's Chun Woo Hee.
Correct.
From The Wailing. It's a little movie she did that I highly recommend because she's a fantastic actress. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I love that one. It again, it's one of those movies you're not really sure how many times you're going to rewatch it, but
Yeah.
that's the first time I think I really kind of noticed that actress, Woo Chun. So really good character dynamics in that one too, and the themes and everything. It really makes you kind of angry watching it too. But yeah, I definitely recommend it.
Okay. Yeah, it's a tough movie, and like you said, it doesn't have a lot of rewatch value, as well as Spirit's Homecoming. I've only seen both of those films once. If I was putting a list together of films that have rewatch value, or again, it's hard to put a list together of things just out of pure enjoyment.
Yeah.
I tried to have a good variety of things, and even though I would watch these movies again, but not anytime soon. Especially Spirit's Homecoming. I think that's still, even talking about that movie affects me. Okay, number 12.
All right, so I got another lighter one here before I go dark.
Okay.
All About My Wife from 2012, a romantic comedy starring Sun Kyung Lee, Soo Young Lim from A Tale of Two Sisters, and some guy named Sung Ryong Ryu. This guy's just dominating my list. So the way it works is that Sun Kyung Lee is really tired of his nagging wife, who Soo Young Lim plays, and she is kind of a nagger. So he's like, I got to end this marriage. So he hires Sung Ryong Ryu's character, who's like a suave Dos Equis guy type guy, and to seduce his wife, to coerce her to divorce him. He figured that would be easier to just have a mutual kind of break off by having her fall in love with another man. And things don't go quite as how he expected. So with that cast, I mean, that really drives it, and I really enjoyed that one. All About My Wife.
Okay, haven't seen it. Sorry. Again, comedies. Corey needs to buy more comedies. I can't help it. It's just one of those things. I like my dark movies.
Yeah.
Comedy, again, I said it before, it's a hard thing to do. Right. For my number 12, this is another one I struggle with because there are 2 versions of this film. It's Inside Men, the director's cut. I didn't see the director's cut in the cinema, obviously. I saw the theatrical cut. But when I purchased the Blu-ray, it came as a 2-disc thing, and I rewatched it. So I watched the director's cut and I reviewed that as well. And I think it's a better film. It's much longer, but it's one of those movies that adds stuff that's necessary, I think, to the plot, and it does flesh out a few things a bit better. Yeah, Inside Men, great performances, a great kind of political thriller. Again, it's one of those things. It's a mishmash of genres, really, but yeah, incredibly violent as well, which is something cool. Is Inside Men even on your list?
Yes, actually it is a little bit later.
Oh, okay. Which version?
Oh, I've actually only seen the director's cut because I couldn't see it in the theater, and I wanted to. I was like gonna buy the 2-disc edition off of Yes Asia, which is a little pricey. So I waited a few months, and it went out of print on Yes Asia real quick. So then I was like, "You gotta be kidding!" And then I found it on eBay, like the legit copy, and I watched the extended cut first, and I enjoyed it so much that I haven't even watched the theatrical cut.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was like limited to was it like 3,000 or something?
Oh, I'm not even sure.
I don't know. Mine has, I don't have it here. It's in storage in Brisbane, but I remember it had like a embossed number on the back. And it was definitely one of those movies that, sold out very quickly. I know you can get, there's like a Hong Kong DVD that's quite cheap. But yeah, if you guys can get a hold of the, I think it's called the original cut or something, or director's original, whatever, I don't know, director's cut, extended cut, whatever, it's all the same. Yeah, but I've got that at number 12. So, hey, we've finally hit a film that's on both of our lists. All right, number 11. Oh my God.
All right, we're going dark here. I'm going to go with Silenced, also known as The Crucible from 2011.
Nice.
So this was
on my list as well.
Excellent. You got Gong Yu from Train to Busan, Yumi Jung, also from Train to Busan, and then Hyun Soo Kim, the little girl. And this is one about again, pretty terrible real life story that takes place in a school for hearing impaired children, I believe, where they're being abused by the people there. And I won't tell you how it kind of ends. But one thing I found interesting is the real life impact the film had, because it actually kind of generated interest from the public to actually change law to protect children. So any movie that can do that is pretty special.
Yeah. That's on my list. It's in my top 10. So I might save what I have to say about it until we get to it on my list. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. So 11 from me, and then we might check the comments, and I'll crack open another beer. Number 11 for me is The Yellow Sea. Na Hongjin's second film. Again, a masterpiece. Fantastic performances. A film that I think about more than his other movies, believe it or not. There's a certain sequence when he has to go do the assassination attempt and he's on the stairs and he's testing the lights and all that stuff, and he goes out and then he goes into I think it's like a 7-Eleven or something, and he's eating. For some reason, that scene just replays in my head from time to time. I don't know why, but I really love The Yellow Sea. I think it's just a great movie. And also, when I spoke to what's his name? Asian film,
Fake Plastic Films.
Fake Plastic Films. Thank you. Oh, I haven't spoken to him in so long. He hasn't put anything up for a while.
No.
When I spoke with Fake Plastic Films, about it, he was saying that Ryan was saying about what that's based on. There's some tensions with people that come over, and a lot of people didn't like that movie. It didn't do too well in South Korea. but the final act of that movie is a bloodbath, absolute bloodbath. Your thoughts on the Yellow Sea?
Yeah, excellent performances. I think it takes a little while to get going, maybe, but I really enjoyed it. The scene that sticks out to me is one involving chicken wings, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But once, if anybody, in America, unfortunately, we got a cut version of it, so it's missing 20 minutes. So I saw the extended version, I think, on one of my like Cineflix or one of the rental sites that I used. But when I bought the DVD, I didn't know it was cut, so now I need to try to go out and get the regular edition again. But
so is that a US DVD?
Yeah.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah.
What was cut? All the violence, I'm assuming?
I don't think so. I'm kind of confused as to what exactly they cut. I mean, we got a full cut of the whaling. We got a full cut of the chaser. So I don't know why they cut the Yellow Sea, but I don't know.
Who knows? That's strange.
Yeah.
All right. We're down to the top 10. Dun, 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 dun. I'm just going to check the comments, open another beer. Hey, that sweet sound. Let's go back up. Okay. What have we got here? Sunflower is on Amazon, apparently. What else we got here? Korean movies are great. Who is the fucking guy they keep pronouncing funny? Show his pic. You'll find him. Google him.
I'll put it in the comments section. Maybe we'll put his name in the comments.
He's in just about every Korean film. I think I'm just going to quickly count how many movies he's in that I've chosen. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think he's in about 4 or 5 movies that I have here. So
yeah, me too.
What else? Veteran. No, I didn't put Veteran on my list. I like Veteran. I don't think it's a top 20. Is Veteran on your list?
No, it is not.
No.
Good movie though.
Yeah, it's good. Apparently they're making a sequel. I've heard. Okay, Korean novel Plaza can help to understand Yellow Sea. All right. I will check that out. Thanks, guys. Okay, so we're down to the top 10. This was hard. This was the hardest part for me, doing the top 10.
Yeah, I'm going to have a few omissions that probably should have been on my honorable mentions, but we'll get to that later.
That's all right. We can do another lot of honorable mentions. It's fine.
So,
number 10.
I held out on one on you that we had a repeat on. Number 10 for me is Han Gong-ju, 2013.
Nice.
So yeah, I had two dodgy films in a row myself there with Silenced and Han Gong-ju.
Well, I had it at 13. You had it at 10. So that's not too much of a difference. So, yeah. Well, I guess. Is there anything else you want to add?
Nope. But I really look forward to seeing Woo Hee-chun in a lot of movies in the future.
Yeah. I've said many times that I have a crush on her.
She's nice taste.
She's up there. I've got a few Korean actresses I like. She's up there. She's in my top 3. Number 10. Now, this might be a little controversial putting it this far up, but when you sit down and actually look at how many great films came out between 2010 and 2017, a movie about zombies on a train needs to be in the top 10 because it was done so well, but compared to the other films, I don't think it's as good. So number 10 for me is Train to Busan, the movie that kind of just swept the world last year. I know it's now on Netflix in Australia. People went crazy for this movie, and it's easy to see why. My sister, Amy, who was here last weekend, and we reviewed The Chaser together. She doesn't watch too many Korean movies, but she loves horror movies and loves zombie movies. And she watched Train to Busan. I think she would have even watched it without my recommendation. And I like the fact that that movie opened up a lot of doors to people, or opened up the door to South Korean cinema for a lot of people. Yeah, Train to Busan. Great zombie movie. I'm not a fan of zombie movies. It's one of my favorites. So number 10.
Good choice.
Is it on your list?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. Well, we won't say when yet.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Number 9.
That's where Inside Men is placed. So, yes, I think I've said what I wanted to say. Again, shout out to Byung-hun Lee. Dude's awesome.
He's awesome. But you said you want me to punch him in the face if I'm ever in a South Korean film.
That would be pretty interesting. I think that would be for the ages.
I don't know. I don't like my chances of ever being in a South Korean film. I don't know how that would work.
Yeah.
You don't really see too many white Australian dudes in South Korean movies, so I don't know. I totally do it. If somebody ever said, "Hey, Corey, come to South Korea, shoot a cameo or something, or even be an extra or something," I can just stand in the background doing something. I would totally. I'm sure you'd do it as well.
Oh yeah,
be amazing.
Actually, I'd rather have I'd rather be like the third wheel of a romance with maybe Ok BPM or something like that. Just mix it up.
They're fighting for your love. Maybe I could be like an English teacher that goes to a small rural town, and there's another teacher there. Sonia Jin plays the other teacher, and she falls in love with me. I don't speak any Korean, and but we developed this unspoken relationship, and it's really sweet and cute. And then the big thing is her father doesn't like me because I'm a foreigner. And then because I'm such a good teacher, I teach her cousin or something, little kid, and all the kids love me. And then her father turns around and says, "Yes, you can marry this Australian man." And we live happily ever after. And then on set, there's a real on-set romance.
Oh, so well, yeah.
Like life,
Well, that'll help. It's like it's method acting. Yeah.
I would love that. That would be amazing, but that would never happen. All right. So what are we up to? Number 9?
Correct.
You just did
Inside Man.
I have Ode to My Father at number 9. Another movie that made me cry in the cinema. I have movies on here that make me cry because I'm not a big crier. So if something can make me cry, then I'm like, obviously it's hitting something in my heart. And I remember sitting in a packed theater for Ode to My Father. I go to the movies once a week to see Asian movies, but when I go see Korean films, I'm usually disappointed because there aren't that many people in the cinema, and it might just be the time that I go to see the film. But with Ode to My Father, I remember it was in Brisbane. It was at Mount Gravatt, Garden City. It was on a massive screen, and it's probably a 300-seat theater, and it was full, and there was not a dry eye in the house, and it was such a great experience for me. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Loved the performances. I know some people might think it's a bit hokey, but I liked it. So it's number 9 for me.
All right. Well, unfortunately, that one I'm a little dodgy on, unfortunately. I didn't like that one as much as you did. I love the lead actor. I forgot his name.
Hwang Jung-min?
Yeah, I love him. I just felt that one was maybe a little, and maybe I need to watch it again. Maybe I wasn't in the right mood for it. It did feel a little bit maybe melodramatic.
It does get a bit mellow. Yeah, it does. It is. It is melodramatic. You're right.
Yeah, but I mean, not that I don't necessarily mind melodrama. Just that one, I don't know, just didn't really work for me. It didn't feel like it really earned all of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'd be willing to give it a second chance just because he's the lead in it again.
Yeah. Well, there's one scene in particular, spoiler alert. Again, it's what I liked about it. It kind of gave a brief overview of South Korea's history in like a 2 hour 20 film, and I liked that. But there's this scene where they're reuniting people because a lot of families got split during the war, and they're trying to reunite families, and it was very, very powerful for me.
Yeah, that scene was
All
good.
right.
I'll give you that.
Okay, number 8.
We're doing a Byung-hun Lee double here. He's coming back for
Hey,
more with Masquerade from 2012.
nice.
So I like
Okay.
this one. A lowly comedian is coerced to stand in for a king of the Joseon dynasty who is faced with the threat of assassination. So Lee gets to play 2 different characters in this, which is really interesting to see, and he's fantastic in this. I really enjoyed like the dynamics within the palace. I thought those were interesting. Hyo Joo-han is in this, which is a big plus, and some actor by the name of Sung Ryon Ryu. so, yeah, Masquerade, very solid, very good.
Yeah. Again, that's a movie I didn't even think to include in my list. But now you're talking about it, I'm like, oh yeah, that was really good. He's such a good actor. It's unfortunate that he's trying to make it in the United States. I think that was a bad move because he's in what, G.I. Joe 2, Red 2. He was in that Magnificent Seven remake. It's all shit.
He was wasted. I was really looking forward to seeing him as the Terminator in that movie.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that
that's
was the
right.
only reason I would ever watch that movie, and they totally wasted him in it. I
Of
was
course
so
they
mad.
did.
I was hoping he'd be like the main villain or something cool, you know, but no.
Oh, I haven't seen Terminator Genesis. I
Oh,
don't want to.
it's not good.
I can imagine. Okay, number 8 for me. I think this might be on your list as well. I'm just going to throw it out there. If it's not, I'll be surprised because it has an actor in it, and he's in that we've been speaking about quite a lot, and he's the lead character in this. Miracle in Cell Number 7.
It is not on my list.
Oh no! I thought that one would be. Don't tell me you hate that film or something.
No, I like it. I like it.
Again, another film that made me overly emotional. It's kind of like that I Am Sam movie that Sean Penn made all those years ago. Similar vibe to that. This one is it's a very Korean film, I think. um, again, ups and downs, is melodramatic in some places, is incredibly funny in some places, goes very dark in some places as well, particularly with the reason why he's incarcerated. You're like, whoa, where did that come from? So it's one of those movies that takes you to many different places, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name again. I'm giving up right now.
Just call him the man.
The man. The man. I think in most of the movies that we've listed, he's been like a villain or a side character. And in this, it's his movie. He's the big star, and it's his time to shine. So, yep. Miracle in Cell Number 7 for me at number 8. Number 7.
Train to Busan is where that one lies.
Okay.
Just such a purely entertaining film from start to finish. I had to include it. And a shout out to Dong Sok Ma as the beefy dude, who was really good in that one. Kind of an underrated actor, I think.
He is really underrated.
Yeah, he's been in some good stuff. And whenever he shows up, he's always good. You know what I mean? No matter where he shows up.
He was a standout in that movie, clearly. His character, his performance, his motivations in that movie as well. The way he talks about Gong Yu as well. just the dynamic that they have. Like he's this, his wife is pregnant. They're talking about, you know, they're going to have a baby. And then you've got this other guy who's, what does he call him? It's like a parasite or something at some stage.
Yeah, something like that.
Just complete opposites, you know. A guy who's just a real family man, and then you've got this other guy that's a businessman and only cares about his business and not his family. And yeah, fantastic actor. Good choice. Again, we're only like 3 movies apart for that one. So, all right, my number 7. A movie I reviewed recently because many people asked me to review it, and I'd seen it before. War of the Arrows. I love War of the Arrows. I think it's a great kind of like historical action film that has an unconventional story. What I liked is you've got this character who's great with the bow and arrow, that's for sure. And in a lot of other movies, I think lesser movies, he would have been saving his beloved. Where in this, he's saving his sister. And I really like that dynamic. It's something different that we don't really see too often. Usually it's so much easier to just say, oh, he has to go save his, you know, the love of his life. And this, there's no forced love story, no nothing. It's just purely a brother trying to save his sister. Excellent action sequences. There's a certain sequence that involves a tiger as well, which when I was watching, I'm like, I wonder if this inspired them to make the tiger. But again, that movie stars Ryu Song-bom.
The man.
The man. He plays the villain of the film, and he's just really scary looking in this movie. And you see him in all of his films, and he looks different in everything. Your thoughts on War of the Arrows?
That's in my number 6 spot. So we're right next to each other.
Boom.
I love this one. Another crowd pleaser that I just had to put near the top here. A special shout out to Chaewon Moon as the female lead in that one. She was quite good. And yeah, some of the archery, anybody who likes archery or that, you know, kind of, it's almost like guerrilla warfare with arrows. It's just an extravaganza of arrow shots. It's really good stuff.
I'm just going to quickly look at the comments. Somebody said plagiarized. That movie was plagiarized. Which one?
It does have some similarities to Apocalypto, I think, but
yeah, maybe.
I mean, there's some similarities, but I don't think it you know, it copies it or anything.
Oh, okay. I like Apocalypto, but I don't know. It's a film about ancient Mayans.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a few scenes here or there that are similar. But
directed by drunk Mel Gibson. Say what you want about Mel Gibson, but that son of a bitch knows story structure.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, number 6 for me is a movie that I suspect might be on your list as well, but I could be wrong. Last time I said that it wasn't. At number 6, I have Won Bin in The Man from Nowhere.
I was scared of this moment. It should be on my list, but it isn't.
Oh, why not?
I don't know. I was thinking, like, should I put it on there? I should have had it at least as an honorable mention. I don't really have that many problems with it. When I think about the flaws of the film, I mean, he's great in it. You have Seiran Kim again, who's great in it. I'm just thinking, I don't know. I don't know if I really have a reason. There's just maybe, I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that. But I apologize because it probably should be on my list. I really like that one.
Yeah, I really like him as an actor. Well, I love him as an actor. I'll be honest. In Mother, he was great. Yeah, Mother. That might be in the next list, I think. Mm-hmm. But he hasn't acted since that film. That was the last movie he made. The Man from Nowhere in 2010. He hasn't done anything since then. And from what I understand, he's just waiting for the right film. But yeah, he's been waiting a long time. But that movie, man, that really got me. I think it's it's similar to, you know, Leon, the Professional, the Jean Reno, Natalie Portman film in some ways. But I like that story. That's a story that I guess has been told almost since the beginning of time. For example, last night I watched Logan, the latest Wolverine film. Similar plot. Really, you've got this guy who has a dodgy past, who gives up everything to save a young girl, and that's a story we've seen many times. But every time it's done a little bit differently, and I don't know why that story resonates so much with people. But if you don't like if you love The Man from Nowhere, please do not watch Rocky Handsome, the Bollywood version, which is on Netflix in Australia. Oh, I get comments all the time from people in India saying, you need to stop watching bad Bollywood movies. And I should watch some good ones, but I just don't like it when they ruin something I love. That's all. So, yeah, that's my number 6. So we're down to the top 5, everyone.
Yes.
Top 5. This is it. The final countdown. All right. Number 5, drum roll.
Now, Corey, I've been hearing you talk crap about this movie for so long. Just throwing it under the bus every chance you get. It's time that it has its day on your channel, and there's nothing you can do about it because it's number 5 on my list. Confession of Murder from 2012.
Piss off, Erik. Are you serious?
So everybody in the comments section, I want you to go out and watch Confession of Murder. Everybody who's watching, and I want you to tell Corey after you see it how much you love it because it's fantastic entertainment. So the premise, you know, the statute of limitations expires on this serial killer's murders, and you know, he basically comes out after the statute of limitations expires, and he says, "Hey, I'm going to write a book about this. You know, I'm sorry I did it. Here's a book," and it's a bestseller, selling all over the place. But the family members are not happy about this, so they go after him for revenge. But the former cop on the case, kind of has to protect him according to the law, even though he doesn't really care about this guy. And there's a lot of good stuff, some great plot turns in this one. It almost goes from like a dark thriller to an over the top action movie, like back and forth. I love the tonal shifts. It's completely crazy. And yeah, Confession of Murder, baby. Mark it down, number 5.
Oh, Erik. I don't know what to say, man. You completely sold that film. I hated that movie. I hated it. I think that I wouldn't be surprised in the comments section if that's like 50-50.
Yeah.
I reckon that's a movie people, you either love it or you hate it. Do you know they're remaking it? Or they have remade it as a Japanese film that's coming out this year?
Yeah, the trailer played when I saw Blade of the Immortal when I was over there. Tatsuya Fujiwara's the star of it. I don't think they're going to... Well, heck, you might like the Japanese version more, but I don't think they're going to be able to match what I love about the original.
I'm not the biggest fan of him anymore as an actor, Tatsuya Fujiwara. I really like Battle Royale, and there have been a few other films that he's in. Also, the Rurouni Kenshin films. Mm-hmm. Well, he's in the last 2. He plays the bad guy. But I don't know. There's something about him. He's somebody I'd like to punch in the face.
Yeah. I think I mentioned in my Death Note review that his performances are very kind of... There's sometimes where he gets histrionic and like a little bit over the top in his expression. He's very expressionistic. So I can see why people don't really like him. He's kind of grown on me a little bit over the years, actually, somehow. But yeah, if you put him in a movie with a weak script, he really bombs bad. I don't think he could really lift, a film. But if you put him in a film with a good script, I think he's pretty good.
Somebody said, "What about the good, the bad, and the weird?" I don't think
2008.
Yeah, that's not in this list. We're doing 2010 to 2017. Next time we'll be doing 2000 to 2010, which I think will be even harder, to be honest.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Confession of Murder. All right. It's your list. You like it. If you like it, then that's fine. Number 5. New World. At number
Nice.
5. New World. One of the best, I guess, gangster thriller films. God, in a long time. I love this type of film. I really wanted to put. I'm going to give a shout out to another film that I think deserves an honorable mention. Azura, the City of Madness.
Mm-hmm.
Really like that movie. Can't find it anywhere. It doesn't exist on DVD, as far as I'm aware. But New World, wow. What a great film. Everything about it I love. From the writer of I Saw the Devil. So he wrote and directed this film not long after I Saw the Devil. Just fantastic performances all around. Great story. Makes you look at American films that are in a similar style to this, and this just shits all over them. It's fantastic. Your thoughts on New World? Is it in your top 5?
It isn't, but like I said, at this list, if you get me a month from now, it could be completely different based on my mood.
I know.
But
that's what people need to realize.
yeah. But the New World, yeah, the cast in that, loaded cast, great cast in that. You look at the basic premise, it seems like a generic flick, gangster flick, but the execution is what makes that one really good.
Again, Hwang Jung-min steals the show.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite Korean actors.
Yeah, I could watch him in anything.
Yeah. Actually, there's a movie that somebody requested that I review, and I thought about purchasing the DVD. It's about, I think it's a comedy film where it might be he and his wife are dance partners or something.
Oh, I don't know if I might have seen that. I don't know. I'll check my notes and see if I've seen that one. I don't remember. I don't think it was great, but I'll let you know maybe if I find out what that is, just to give you an idea.
Yeah. All right. Final 4. Number 4.
This one, this one is so it's so award worthy and basically immune to criticism. I'm confident in this choice. The World of Us from 2016. Saw this on a plane flight back from Japan. It's basically about, I call it schoolgirl dynamics. It's about a little girl. I forgot what age she is, maybe 10. And at the beginning of the film, you realize that she's a little bit of an outcast, okay, at school. It's the last day of school. Summer vacation hits. She meets a new girl who comes into town, and they befriend each other, and they become best of friends over the summer. They go back to the school year, and this new girl starts to realize that our protagonist has kind of a dodgy relationship with these other girls, and the whole dynamics between all of them kind of changes. And the film is almost, I think it's an indie film, so it plays very, very proficiently. Everything is kind of, there's no over-the-top stuff going on. The performances are just outstanding. I highly recommend this. It's up there with, like, when I think of great child performances in Korean cinema. I really like a Brand New Life from 2009. I think Sejong Kim was in that. This is up there with that. So, like, this girl is Soo In Choi is the little girl in this. So, and this is the director's first film. So, The World of Us, if you haven't seen it and you can, definitely watch it.
I have not seen it, but I have to now. I have to. That sounds great. So the director hasn't directed anything else? That's it?
Just a few short films. That's it.
Right. And has the young girl been in anything else?
Nope.
Wow. All right. It's a big recommendation. All right. My number 4, and then we'll take a break to look at the comments, and we'll get into our top 3. Number 4 for me, The Wailing.
Nice.
A movie that I probably should have put at number 1 in my thing list last year, a movie that I've watched several times since, a movie that every time I watch it, I have a slightly different interpretation of it. I've spoken to friends about this movie. I've spoken to family. This is a movie my best friend, he doesn't really, it's really hard for me to get him to watch Asian movies. And because he's really into religion and occult and all this stuff, I finally got him to watch that film. And he was just like, wow. And I forget his interpretation, but it would be way better than mine because he's somebody that doesn't have a, I guess, academic background in that, but a self-taught background, somebody that's well-read in that stuff. And I actually had somebody comment, I can't remember. If you're watching, man, thank you. There's a guy, I think, from India that commented on my review yesterday or the day before saying that he actually has witnessed exorcisms like that in the film. And he said it's like almost 100% spot on to how, obviously it's in India, but these exorcisms that are done by these shaman, he said he was going to try and film some and send it to me. So
wow.
Yeah. But The Wailing, again, Kwak Do-won, an actor I've admired for quite some time. And he is another one of these guys that is always in the background somewhere. And last year, Na Hong-jin gave him the chance to shine. And he was in The Mayor, which I reviewed recently. Again, fantastic in that film. I like him because he's not a traditional looking guy. Same with a lot of these South Korean actors. You've got Hwang Jung-min, Choi Min-sik, Kwak Do-won, who I just said, Song Kang-ho. They're not Brad Pitt. They're not Johnny Depp. They're not guys that are good actors in their own right, but have a look. And they're guys that haven't had surgery as well, because it's quite common for particularly the younger guys to just get we were talking about Lee Byung-hun before, and he looks like shit now. Absolute shit. The amount of surgery he's had, his face doesn't move. He looks like he's similar to Nicole Kidman. I watched an interview with Nicole Kidman the other day on Australian TV, and her face doesn't move. And I just have this thing with actors getting surgery when it's not needed. But yeah, The Wailing, if you haven't seen it, you need to see it. It's a must-see film. A better horror film than Train to Busan, in my opinion, but a different style of horror film. Train to Busan's, it's a zombie movie. It has jump scares. It's not a movie you think about before you go to sleep at night. The Wailing is a movie that can keep you up at night, in my opinion. So, Erik, The Wailing, your thoughts?
Yes, it's somewhere in my top 3. So yes,
okay.
We'll save
it then. We'll save it. Okay.
You're gonna go through some comments.
We'll go through some comments and then we'll do the top 3. So, guys,
can I take a quick bathroom break?
You do that, man. I'll go through the comments. All right, let's have a look here. Sorry, guys, I'm just scrolling back through your comments. Thanks for watching. There's been like 30 odd of you watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys all watching my reviews from the beginning, commenting, all that stuff. What have we got here? Okay, you guys are talking about Wonbin. Mother was a good movie. Yeah, Mother's great. Bong Joon-ho. Every movie is so different. I love it. Yeah, he is picky, apparently. But that's a good thing. He's not like, who is it? Tom Hardy? I read somewhere Tom Hardy doesn't even read the scripts for half the stuff he does. People just give him, his agent just says, here, do this, and he does it. Which is a bit strange. Assassination. Assassination's a good film. I don't think it's worthy of a top 20 list, to be honest. if I must say. Great cast, fantastic cast, great movie, but no. Oh, Erik has some. Oh, some of you agree with Erik on Confessions of Murder. Well, each to their own. The worst movie ever. I don't know if it's that bad, but it's pretty shit. Yeah, good but not great. Trash, hated it. We talked about Good, the Bad, and the Weird. Somebody said, "Go fuck yourself." Well, that's a bit rough. Come on, guys.
That was probably my Confession of Murder pick.
The elevator scene. Yes, the elevator scene in New World. Awesome. People like New World. Epic. It should be in the top 3. Well, again, it depends. People love New World. Wang Jungmin, great. Yes, I'm in Australia, those of you who don't know. I'm not British. Some people think I'm British. I'm not. I'm Australian. Probably bought it in an Asian store. Are you talking about the beer? If you're talking about the beer, yes. No Tears for the Dead. I didn't really like that movie. Sorry. Had to watch it twice to understand the wailing. Yeah. It's one of those things. It really does. I don't think there is a right or wrong answer for the wailing. I think it really depends on you as a viewer. Death Note? Lol joke. Okay, somebody says, I'm from India too. The stuff they do for exorcisms, like stealing their things, animal sacrifice, and dead animals. Oh, wow. Yeah, The Priest wasn't a great film. Did you see The Priest, Erik?
I like that one. It's kind of cliched, but I like the actors in it, and I like the big finale.
I liked the thing they did with the pig.
Yeah.
I am in Calgary, Canada. Corey is blurry. Erik looked much clearer. Really? Do I look blurry?
Well, I mean, with my technical issues, you look a little blurry. I assumed it was just on my end, but
who knows? Sorry if it's blurry, guys.
I mean, you look fine. You look fine most of the time, but yeah.
I don't know. It could be my webcam. I've been having issues. I need to buy a new webcam. My webcam has been playing up. When I did the podcast recently with Sean, I had to use the one on my laptop, and yeah, sorry if I'm blurry. I apologize, but it's either this or nothing. Sorry. All right. You look 144. Do I really? It's that bad.
It doesn't look that bad from my end, but maybe on YouTube I don't know.
It might be YouTube. I don't know. I've got I haven't changed anything on my camera. Again, it could just be something with my internet connection or whatever. I apologize. Yes, my name is CORRIE. And technically it's Corrie, but I hate Corrie. I prefer Corey.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's what you get for having German grandparents. So, okay, top 3. Here we go.
Thinking about my third, I don't know if I'm as confident thinking about the movies that I've talked about in my top 10 with this one. Again, I kind of alternate some dark stuff, some crazy stuff. This one's purely entertaining, I think. It's a thriller from 2010 called Midnight FM.
Okay.
There's just something about this movie that just like every second just works for me in this one. I think it's just you have Sue A in the lead role. She was in The Flu and Athena, Goddess of War. You have Ji Tae-yu from Old Boy, and Dong Seok-ma is in this in a very good supporting role. And it's about this midnight radio DJ whose family, her daughter gets kidnapped by GTAU, of course. And he basically plays games with her, makes her answer questions about her previous shows and stuff just to save her daughter's life. So again, it has some similarities actually to the Terror Live in that you're, at least for most of the movie, you're confined to that radio station. And they do show what happens to her daughter too in the apartment, but I just think it's really tight. I like the theme of vigilantism that comes out. And I just think it's a really, really good suspense thriller. It's one of those Korean films. When people think about Korean thrillers, they think of the violent stuff. This one, it's like suspense, really suspense driven, and I very much enjoy this one.
That's really from out of left field.
Yeah.
That's a good choice. I've seen that movie. It's really good. It's one of those movies I forgot about. You watch so many movies and you're like, it's hard to remember them. I had to go on to Google just to see what came out at certain points in time. And Midnight FM, good choice. I'm just going to open something. I need to eat something. I've been drinking too much beer. Those of you who are watching from overseas, these are pizza shapes. These are, I guess, a flavored biscuit from a cracker. I guess you guys would call them if you're in the States. I don't really eat bad food, but when I drink, I just want to eat stuff like this. I was going to buy some Korean chips or crisps or whatever from the supermarket, but they didn't have any.
Do you have combos in Australia?
Combos?
Yeah, we have little combos. They're called. They're like little crackers that are like in a cylinder, and inside is like pizza flavored cheese and filling. They're tasty.
Are they like Pringles?
No, they're some of them have like a pretzel exterior. Other ones have just like a thicker cracker exterior.
What do you think about the previously new shapes that got cancelled? I don't know. Honestly, I don't eat these. I bought the Korean beer and went, I feel like eating something like, I don't know, crisps or chips, sorry. I say crisps because I lived in the UK for a bit. And then, yeah, like crackers or whatever. And I used to eat these. I remember when I was younger and I'd go to my grandmother's, she'd always have pizza shapes. So, I don't know, memories. They're not too bad. They haven't got a lot of sugar in them, which is good. I try not to eat too much sugar. So they're like 0.4% sugar, which is good, but they taste okay. They go well with beer. One time, I was teaching a class of Korean students, and they gave me what they said, I don't know if it's true, which is like a traditional Korean beer snack, which are like silkworms.
Oh, yeah. I've had those.
What? Did you like the smell, or is it just me?
There's a little Korean place right around the corner from my house, and this lady really hooks me up. She gives me freebies all the time. And I wanted to try something weird one day. I was feeling weird. So she made me some silkworm larvae. And she cooked them up. They're almost like a little nutty. They have like a little bit of a nutty type flavor when they're hot. But don't eat them when they're cold because they're pretty disgusting when they're cold.
Well, I'll see if I can. I'm pretty sure I took a video of it. It might be on my old phone, but I might upload that to YouTube or something at one stage. But they gave me it. They gave me a can, and they didn't tell me what it was, and they just said, "Oh, this is a snack that you have with beer." I'm not a massive beer drinker, but I do like. I'm Australian. I can't help it. We like to drink. And because I like Korean beer is my favorite because it's a lot lighter and fresher than Australian beer. Australian beer is very heavy and bitter. They said, try this. And I opened the can and the smell of the brine.
Oh, man, that had to be nasty.
It was bad. It made me want to dry reach. And but when I ate the silkworm, it was fine.
Huh.
I didn't mind it. Yeah. I thought it was okay, but I would prefer fresh. I don't think silkworm in a can is the way to go.
Yeah. I had pig feet one time. Or no, pig ankles. And they have like a little bit of Oh, I forgot the name of it, but yeah, it was pretty good. So,
Yeah. Well, there you go. Finish your list, guys. Yes, we're going to. All right. I just want to keep you guys in suspense. That's all. Corey, the lighting is better, but I think the lighting is what's causing the grainy quality. Really? I've got a light here. Maybe I'll turn that off. Oh, did that just make it worse or better? Tell me. Does that look all right,
oh,
Eric, or am I too dark now?
maybe a little dark, I think. I don't know.
Somebody said do a top 20 snacks list. I think that's just made it worse. I don't know. I honestly think it's my webcam, guys. It's on its way out. I was having issues when Erik and I started doing this. Oh, it's worse. Same quality. I apologize. I don't know what's wrong. It looks fine at our end, so I don't know what's happening there. Okay, top 3. Number 3, Erik.
That was my Midnight FM pick.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Midnight FM. Sorry. All right, for me, it's Silenced.
Nice.
You had this earlier in your list. What number did you have Silenced at?
I think it might have been what is it? It was number 11.
11? Okay.
Yep.
I've got this at number 3. And for the same reasons you said, really, because it's a true story. They changed the laws. Great performances, particularly by the children. I think Gong Yu did really well. From what I understand, he actually learned sign language for the role, or what he needed to learn for the role, which, that kind of dedication from an actor, I really take my hat off for. So Silenced is for me. What's silence called in Korean? Somebody's asked. I don't know.
I don't know.
The Korean name. Sorry. It's the one about the kids that are in the they're all deaf and they're being abused. Again, another really hard film to watch. Really hard. But again, a movie that needs to be seen. All right, down to the final 2. Number 2.
Number 2 for me is The Wailing.
Hey.
So yeah, this one, again, first time I saw it, it nailed me pretty good. And I actually did some research, and maybe I'll put a link in the comments section. There's a YouTube video with a very clean and nice explanation for the film. So maybe I'll do that. But yeah, just the film was just outstanding. I agree with you that it's more unnerving than Train to Busan was as a horror film. And just the way it was written is really, really good. The way it unfolds the mystery throughout. I think they put a lot of thought when they were into the script writing of this film and how everything laid out. So definitely, anybody who has not seen The Wailing, you got to watch it.
Yeah. In my opinion, it's a modern masterpiece, and it's 3 from 3 for him. So his next film, he's got a lot to live up to. So
Yep.
Maybe he'll do a comedy.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe he'll do a science fiction film. I don't know. Okay, number 2 for me is I Saw the Devil.
Very nice.
I love the movie. It's great. It's violent. It's a great revenge film. It's being remade, apparently. So we can look forward to the US remake. I'm sure it'll be as good, just like Old Boy was. If you haven't seen I Saw the Devil, you need to see it. It's one of those movies that everybody needs to see. It's a phenomenal thriller. It moves at such a high speed. Like, it's got so much going on. It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. And I think if they did do an American remake, they would probably include a lot of this stuff, because particularly with like Netflix and things like that, and Game of Thrones and all these big popular shows, they tend to be quite violent now. So I think a lot of people would be okay with the level of violence that's in this film. But yeah, again, a movie I think about regularly, and I reviewed not too long ago. I love it. It's a great movie. I Saw the Devil for You, Eric.
Yeah, I mean, if you try to remake this, good luck finding two actors that play off each other as well as those guys did, because a lot of the film revolves around that. Again, Ji Woon Kim's directing style is also just really solid in that movie. So, I think, yeah, they could bring over the same type of violence and premise, but the execution is going to be tough to top, man.
Okay, we're down to it. Number one. This is it. The best South Korean film from 2010 to 2017. Erik, Asian movie enthusiast. What is your number one film?
It's going to be a curveball, but I'm confident in this one.
Okay.
I am. You'll be interested to see if what other people's opinions are. It's a romantic comedy.
Really? Okay.
Couples from 2011. Now, this is actually a remake of a Japanese film named A Stranger of Mine, which came out, I think, in 2005. So that film is a comedy drama, the Japanese film, and it's about a bag of cash that changes hands throughout the day. And the basic structure of that film was that it would show maybe half the film, it plays out normally. Second half in the film, you have flashbacks that show what happened during the scenes that you saw earlier from different perspectives and showing you more of each scene, so that what you thought happened maybe didn't happen quite like you thought it did. So A Stranger of Mine was a very good film, and South Korea took that premise and they infused it into a romantic comedy type of a theme. So you have the same bag of cash that's floating around, but then you have these three different stories. You have like a tea shop owner who meets a cute girl cop during a robbery, a private eye who's looking for the tea shop owner's missing fiance, and then a gangster who loses that bag of cash. And you go through the film, and it's a romantic comedy with this bag of cash floating around between these characters. And it's the script in this movie is just outstanding. Like, there's a lot of moments that kind of surprise you because you think it's playing out normally for a while, but I really think the script in this really makes it very, very nice. Some hilarious moments in it, and you got Joo Hyuk Kim. He was in Confidential Assignment. He's the lead actor.
Okay, cool.
I think he was the third actor in that movie, though. Yoonji Lee. She was in some K-dramas, and then Si-Young Lee again from Killer 2, and she's phenomenal in this movie. So, again, Couples probably not a choice that a lot of you were expecting as my number one, but it's arguably the best romantic comedy I've ever seen. So, yeah, I love the film. So,
wow. Do you have a crush on her?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure I do.
Wow. Couples. All right. That's I haven't seen it, man.
I'll bring it with me when I visit you in Australia. We'll watch it.
All right. Sounds good. Okay, number one for me. Drum roll. Drum roll. This is a movie I reviewed a few years ago. It's on Netflix in Australia, one of the only South Korean films on Australian Netflix. It's a movie that a lot of people have emailed me about. People still comment on the video. There are people still finding this film. It's one of my most successful videos, and I'm not just saying this is number one because of that. It's a movie that has some of the best performances of any film I've seen in recent years, and the film is called Hope.
Okay.
The other title for the film is Wish. It's about, again, it's a dark drama, and it's about a young girl who was brutally raped and what her parents have to go through. And the performance by the little girl, I think it's Sol Kyung-joo is the dad. The mother. It's just about the family dynamic. Again, it's a small film. It's not a flashy movie. It doesn't have a big budget, but wow, just again, it's just the performances in this film blew me away. And I've watched it. It's a movie I've watched more than once. It makes you angry. You go through a lot of emotions. It's a great film. Absolutely fantastic. Hope. Have you seen Hope?
Yes, and I enjoyed it very much. Yes. It's kind of, a theme tonight. If I did like a top American movie list or something for a period, I don't think I would have this many films that focus on young people, like children or teenagers. That says a lot about like the South Korean film industry, that you can have this many talented young actors and actresses that can pull this stuff off. And yeah, this is another one to add to the list, I think. It's again, not one that I don't know if you got to be prepared before you watch it or whatever, but it's definitely one that it'll draw those emotions out from you for sure. So I think it's a good choice.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a hard watch. Yeah, it's really hard. Yeah, a lot of people are like commenting. Court scene got me.
Yeah,
it's a hard movie to watch, but again, I just think the way it's treated, they don't sugarcoat anything. With Hope, with Silence, with Spirit's Homecoming, with Han Gong-ju, these movies that have these similar themes, yeah, they're very confronting films, but they don't. It's not sugarcoated, and the performances in all those films by all the women and all the young girls, particularly Hope. I don't know the name of the actress, the little girl in the film, but Jesus Christ. Compared to stuff from Australia and the United States with kid actors of a similar age, like just miles above. They go above and beyond. It's incredible. So yeah, that's it. That's the top 20 films from South Korea. Erik, anything else you want to add?
I'm really glad we did the 2010 to current, because I think we hit some films maybe that people haven't heard of or haven't seen yet. So I think we had some pretty solid lists, though, some unconventional stuff. So I'm happy with the outcome here.
Well, we had different lists of films that were on both of our lists, but it's like I've got stuff on my list that you haven't seen, and vice versa. So. We got Where's D-War on the list. D-War's from like 2007. It might be on my list. No, that's on a list of guilty pleasures, that one.
You could honorable mention it.
I could. D-War's, oh my God. It's so bad, though. Okay, Na Hong Jin's next film is going to be about a police officer who shot 20 people with no reason, and is based on a true story.
Really? Is that
there you
true?
Go. I don't know. Somebody has said it is. It looks, Korean, somebody from Korea. So
I'd watch it. I'll watch it.
I'll watch anything. If he's like, I'm going to make a movie about, I don't know, I don't care, about worms in the ground, I will watch it. Are you excited for?
I was saying, if he directed a movie with Jung Woo Ha eating silkworms the whole film, I would watch it.
Sure. Are you excited for Okja? What are your thoughts? Have you seen the trailer?
I did. Again, his films have a very genre-bending kind of awkwardness to them, I would say. So when I first usually see a trailer for one of his films, I feel a little awkward watching it, but I'm sure the film itself is going to be probably pretty good. at the very least.
What do you think about from what I got? We obviously got the English language trailer. What do you think about it being a predominantly English language film? Like we had Snowpiercer, and now he's done another one where it seems to be even the focus is even more on an English language cast or an English speaking cast. What do you think? Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. It's kind of I guess it all depends on how the film turns out. But I mean, I don't know. I always feel like, for some reason, I don't know if I can explain it, I'm always kind of happier when a South Korean director just makes a South Korean film. Seems like there's fewer X factors at play, and you always kind of worry because he had some trouble with Snowpiercer regarding the cut that would reach theaters eventually, and so I'm wondering if but regardless of that, I'm not like super excited for it, but I would say that given the director's strengths, I'm definitely going to look forward to it.
Yeah. I know earlier I said like I would prefer to watch this in the cinema, which is still true. But I think the beauty of Netflix is the thing that happened to him with Snowpiercer, with the Weinsteins, I think it was. They wanted to cut the movie down to something like 90 minutes and just they just wanted to butcher the film. And then it was on the shelf for a couple of years, from what I understand. At least with Netflix, he has full control to it. Yeah, I think that with Netflix, it's like they just let the directors do whatever.
Good point.
I'm interested because he co-wrote it with John Ronson. He's an English guy. He wrote the film Frank, the Michael Fassbender film, and he's a very quirky guy. He has I've read a few of his books. He's a very interesting man. So I want to see some behind the scenes stuff to see how those two work together and how it all came about. That fascinates me. From the trailer, it looks, again, like what you said, you don't know. And the trailer that we got was clearly cut for an English language audience. So it seemed a bit, I felt like I've seen this movie before. With a kid and it's E.T. or whatever.
Tom Young-gung, The Protector, with Tony Jaa when he was looking for his elephants.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I'm optimistic about it. I hope it's really good. I like Jake Gyllenhaal a lot. He's an actor I didn't like when he was younger, but I've started to like in the last few years. I think Nightcrawler was the big turnaround. I like Nocturnal Animals a hell of a lot. I like Prisoners as well. So I'm open-minded about Okja. I just kind of, I just wish it was a theatrical release. Hope is a good movie. What else we got? Some people are leaving. Unrelated, but have you seen Gant Zero? Yes, I have. I've done a review. You can check out my review. I enjoyed it. What else have we got here? Have you checked out the Martin Scorsese exhibition at ACMI? No, I haven't. Is it still running? I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay, so what have we got? I got into thriller movies. Can both of you recommend a movie or two? Oh, there are so many. Look through my channel. Every second movie I review is a thriller.
Or even our top lists.
I did it. Yeah, there's lots of good thrillers, guys. There's a lot on this list. What you should do is when Pia puts the list down and puts it in the comments once this video is finished, go through the list. No Mercy is a great one, obviously. New World has some thriller elements to it.
Midnight FM.
Yeah, Midnight FM at number 3.
Confession of Murder. Don't forget Confession of Murder, guys.
There's also you know, for my list, I think, when we do the 2000 to 2010, there will be, I can already think of 5 movies off the top of my head that are thrillers that will be in that list. So
Yeah.
that'll be a harder one to do. I think it's hard to do them because you try to give your list was probably more well-rounded than mine because I didn't have any comedies or romantic comedies in mind, but I can only speak for myself, but I tried to balance mine out in there.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely did with yours. But yeah, so guys, we might leave it there. We've been going for like 2 hours now. So thanks for watching. If you guys, when this video goes, well, it's live now, but when it gets processed and stuff, feel free to comment in the comment section. Remember to subscribe. Erik, do you want to give your channel a shout out?
Sure. If you want to check me out, I'm the Asian Movie Enthusiast on YouTube. So I'm, just doing a lot of reviews, focus on a lot of horror movies, my DVD collection, and I cover as much as I can regarding Asian cinema.
Yeah. Erik's reviews are much more in-depth than mine, particularly his year-by-year videos that go for like, what, half an hour on average?
Yeah.
So
I torture my subscribers with those.
They're good, though. They give a lot of information. So, yeah, that's it. Do you review Korean drama? No. I'm going to keep saying no. I don't have the time. People keep asking me. Look, if one of you guys wants to start your own channel reviewing K-drama, then go right ahead. I just don't have the time. And
it's hard.
You will probably get more views than Erik and I combined. Let's face it. But it's finding the time. Like, good luck finding the time because you would have to watch almost every drama that's on TV and then do an episode by episode review. Oh. Are you guys going to post a list anywhere for quick reference? Yeah, Pia's going to put one down. Yeah, so just keep a lookout for that. And I think Joel was taking a list too. So, yeah, we'll see you guys next month. We'll do our list for 2000 to 2010 next month sometime. So keep an eye out. I'm sure I'll mention it in one of my videos. Thanks, Erik.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure chatting with you, dude.
Yes, it's great.
All right. See you, man. Take care. See you, guys.
Later.
All right.